the US, United States of America, it recognizes itself as one of the superpower nations and will do anything, including intimidating other countries through sanctions and military intervention to maintain its status. And the USA actually, I believe, have some sort of control over the UN. Do you think that this World Peace is Possible campaign will attract any serious international attention, since the sole international peace treaty organization, which is the UN, has or is being controlled by another superpower? Do you think that the World Peace is Possible campaign will attract any serious international attention?
In my lifetime, I have seen the Cold War between the East and the West dissolved. In my lifetime, I've seen the Berlin Wall come down. In my lifetime, I've seen apartheid dismantled. In my lifetime, I've seen a man of color in the White House. In my lifetime, I've seen grassroots movements use social media to topple governments. And in our lifetime, I know we can come together to topple ignorance and change the course of civilization towards the celebration of our diversities in oneness. So I have seen the possibilities. If grassroots movements can topple governments without gun, then the ability of using gun is not the demonstration of power. You are not powerful because you can do aerial acrobatics and drop the biggest fire on the ground. That is not power. That is anger in demonstration. And all angers are products of foolishness, says Scripture. Thus, the one who boasts that he has the biggest anger force is boasting of he having the biggest foolish force. I'm sorry to say, but that is the truth. Again, let's have a clear definition of power. Everybody knows how to react. When somebody provokes me and I react, the word react means I am acting again what the person has done. And often, I want to act it in a much bigger and mightier way. So that if somebody were foolish, I want to be foolisher. Permit my construct. Foolish and what? Foolisher. So if somebody was foolish and somebody did something wrong, I want to do the worst wrong. Everybody knows how to react. Excuse my language, but let me speak it clearly. Every stupid, foolish person knows how to react. Power, inner fortitude, inner settlement, not to react, but to respond. And there's a huge difference between response and reaction. Reaction is the reacting of the error you have seen. Response is you acting your true, peaceful, loving, kind nature to demonstrate who you are in the face of the confusion. So reaction is you hitting the person in the darkness. Response means I'm switching on the light so the darkness disappears. So when somebody responds, that is power. Response means my nature is peaceful. If my nature is kind, generous, and you do something unlike kindness or generosity, it is inviting me to either respond by expressing what I am as kindness and generosity, instead of me reacting the anger, the animosity that you have acted. In response lies power, not reaction. So, I don't know the definition of superpower here, because a superpower will be the nation whose people are so settled, who respond and they don't react. In other words, a nation whose happiness ratio is very high. That is what will determine a superpower. Because when it comes to anger, for you to be angry and destroy things and manage people, kill people, everybody does that. It's normal. So there's nothing special in reaction. So if superpower means the ability to do acrobatics in the air and drop fire on the ground, then I'm sorry, it's not my definition. That is barbarism. You see, people sometimes boast. Our ancestors attacked this tribe and then they killed them. And then you feel proud your ancestors did that, you should feel sorry and apologize for your ancestors for being barbaric. There's nothing powerful about your ancestors pouncing on a smaller tribe and then destroying them. That is barbarism. And today, if you boast that you have the best ammunition to destroy other people, it's just modern barbarism. And I would not see that as superpower, if that's what the question is. So you may tell the questioner, that's not superpower.
Beautiful.
And you say the UN controlling, the US controlling the United Nations.
Yeah.
Yes. For example, in 2003, the Iraqi war, the UN, then it was headed by Kofi Annan of Ghana. He was in the head of the UN. And when the Allied forces wanted to go to war, Kofi Annan said this war was unnecessary. No, we shouldn't. If you got new evidences for weapons for mass destruction, bring them to the UN, let's discuss, and let's take the appropriate action. But somebody said, get off, and then they went to war against Iraq under the pretext of weapons of mass destruction. Did they find any weapons of mass destruction? No. Have they apologized? No. Yet, under their occupation, they found the president of Iraq, caught him, tried him, and killed him. If you were an Iraqi Muslim, what would you think? So Muslims tend to think that this is Christian nations versus them. And this is what is now giving the after spill of the fire where we are experiencing terrorism in many parts of the world. All right, so we set the fire and then we go fighting. And when the Allied forces left, they created power vacuum, which other people took advantage, and then we had ISIS. So you see, human solutions create human problems for us to go and solve again. So you see what happened. So this where in the manual, it also, for example, proposes the need for us to have global political and religious truth and reconciliation. Because in the advancement of our political drives, we have done many things wrong. It's not only America and Britain that have done wrong. It has happened in the past. There have been the Islamic invasions in the past. There have been the Christian invasions in the past. I mean, there have been so many. So we need global truth and reconciliation. That Islam, what are you fighting for? Peace. Christianity, peace. All of us. So why should three peace nations fight? We are all wrong. So we are sorry to one another. Nelson Mandela did it in South Africa. And President Kufuor of Ghana also did it in Ghana. So I believe we can follow the examples of Nelson Mandela of South Africa and have a global truth and reconciliation program to start the tertiary level of peace management.